Hello, I'm James Toy, Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for KCRAR. You're about to watch one of our candidate interviews, an unfiltered, front row look at how those seeking office approach the issues that shape private property rights and the real estate industry as a whole. We share these conversations publicly so you can hear directly from the candidates, understand their positions in their words, and cast your vote with confidence.
Well, good afternoon again. I know we've corresponded a little bit, but again, I'm James Toy. I'm the SVP of Government Affairs for KCRAR. I appreciate you taking some time to interview with us this afternoon. And I'd love to kick things off by learning a little bit about you and why you're running for public office.
All right. Well, thanks for the invitation. It's great to have an opportunity to talk with you. A little bit about me. So, I really have almost always lived in Cass County. I grew up in Archie, Harrisonville area, went to UMKC to college, so lived in Kansas City during that time, and then came back. Did my student teaching in Belton, so that kind of got me back into the area. Um, I'm a teacher, like that's my background. I taught first grade and preschool, moved into district admin and worked on curriculum for the district. And my current position is as the director of the Belton Educational Foundation. So the executive director that fundraises to provide grants, scholarships, food pantry, things like that for students and teachers in the Belton School District. I've been on the Raymore City Council since 2012, so not something new for me. Um, Back then, I was a PTA mom and involved in all that PTA stuff in Raymore with my children while working in the school district here in Belton, and just was really interested in um, really serving the community and finding ways that we can kind of bridge the gap between Belton and Raymore. Since then, over the time I've been on the council, I've learned so much about leading a city, and I really, really enjoy it. I love working with the people in Raymore. I love continuing the work we've been doing to try to bridge the gap between the two communities, looking really at North Cass County as our region, our community versus the separate cities. I just really enjoy serving the community, being a leader in the community, talking with people about things that matter to them, and then working together to see how we can accomplish those things.
I love that answer, and it's great that you have a background in education. And as I said before we got on the recording here, I have a bit of a background in grants, so I have a healthy appreciation of that.
Mhm.
So you've been on the council since 2012, and it's over a decade. So in that time, what do you think your biggest accomplishments have been?
Well, there's so many things.
Hard to pick, right?
um, yes. I don't know if there's like one thing that I'm most proud of. When I ran for council the first time, I ran once and didn't win, was not elected, and then I ran again and was elected, and then have been elected every time I've been up since then. And when I first was running, our council was a little bit dysfunctional. There was a we were in the media about um, who can bring guns to city council meetings. I don't know if anybody remembers that time period. Um, Lots of arguing among the council and really not a very clear vision of where we wanted to go and people agreeing on things. And I think over the years I've been on the council, of course, we've had our ups and downs, but really, um, as a leader, trying to be one who can keep a level head, have a conversation, listen to differing opinions, but still come out in the end with a decision maybe not everyone's happy with, but at least the majority and something we can all live with. I think as a council member, it's been really important to me to listen to constituents and to explain to them, to help them learn, kind of my teaching background. If I'm talking to somebody about something they care about or an issue on the table, I want to help them see the city side, the other perspective, because a lot of times when people can just understand that other perspective, then their response usually is, "Oh, I see why that makes sense now. It didn't make sense from my living room, but when I can see the other side, I understand now why you're looking at that."
So it
So
sounds like you like to use your educational background to bridge the divide, get everyone kind of in unison.
for
But
sure, for
as a
sure.
realtor association, I have to ask you this next question, and it's about housing. So certainly Raymore is not immune to other municipalities and counties we're seeing across the great state of Missouri. There's housing pressure, there's issues with attainable housing. Have you done anything in your tenure, or do you have any future plans to address housing shortages or housing needs, and what might that look like?
Yes. So we have interesting. One of the things that we do in my job at the Belton Educational Foundation, we have pantries, food pantries, clothing closets in all of our schools. And so I deal on a regular basis with families who are potentially struggling to stay in their homes or to find an affordable place to live. And so I've worked with a few different local organizations on that issue, affordable housing. While I've been on the council, we have welcomed several communities developments that are affordable housing that have, that the scaled housing based on or scaled pricing based on your income. We also have, oh, it was just on the tip of my tongue. So we've welcomed several low income housings. We've moved some apartments. Oh, we had a big conversation and implemented ordinances on what we were calling granny housing, the accessory dwellings. In Raymore, we've also worked with like the Council for Aging and ideas to help people age in place. We have an older population in Raymore, so that's something we're looking at. We had a couple different developers who developed some houses and we incentivized them developing houses that were handicapped accessible so that we could encourage people to age in place. So does that answer the question? We've done
No,
quite a
that
bit
is
of that.
wonderful. And from our association's perspective, we are very big proponents of using ADUs to promote attainable housing. And what's funny is in our experience, it's not only just your senior population, but it's increasingly your younger population. You're
Right.
fresh out of college. They might want to live with or near family property, and ADUs are a great resource for them. So, no, that answered it perfectly. I appreciate that. Now, of course, with increased housing comes economic development.
Mhm.
Raymore, from what I understand, has experienced pretty significant business growth in recent years, and there's continued interest from outside parties in developing in that area. Do you
Mhm.
have any long-term vision for managing economic development in the city?
I think our plan, our development plan and our zoning that we have in place is one way that we manage the economic development to kind of keep the residential a little bit separate from the business and having some buffer zones in between. Um, we don't have tons of space in Raymore, so that's going to limit us a little bit for economic development. Um, but as a council, as long as someone comes in and they qualify per our standards, we can't tell them they can't they can't come.
I
I
understand that
know.
position.
Yeah, but we have a great team at the city that we have developed that they meet regularly with developers and people who are interested in coming to Raymore, kind of working with people on where do we have spots available and what would be an optimal spot for their business type, and really working that economic development side.
In your mind, are there any industries or businesses that the city should be targeting to come and set up shop in Raymore?
Well, we hear from the community that they want sit down restaurants, they want retail. And then we've also heard from the community that they want jobs. So places where they can go to work or places where potentially our next generation can go to work. So that's more what we would target at this point based on what the community's saying.
Gotcha. So you're hearing a lot of talk about wanting generational career type businesses where someone can work their way up and stay in the city throughout the duration of their career.
Yes, yes.
Gotcha.
And I was going to say, when you were talking about different types of housing too, one of the things that we have done as a city is listen to and look at the data that says that our younger generation isn't wanting to buy houses. They're wanting somewhere they can rent. They're enjoying the apartments with the amenities more than their desire for the white picket fence, you know?
Yeah, it's funny, with millennials and Gen Z, you do see an increasing trend towards rental properties. And I think there's a lot of factors that go into that. Certainly, convenience and cost, but it's interesting you guys are seeing that there as well. There's not too often we talk to municipal or county leaders and they say that. So that's interesting that you picked up on that.
When Honeywell first started expanding out here, there was a lot of conversation about how um, a lot of people come and work there just for a few years and then go somewhere else, and people not wanting to settle down forever, and so more the desire of the rentals.
Absolutely. Now, when we're talking about rental, single family, businesses coming in, all of that means increased cars on your roadways. Infrastructure is one of the issues we talk about here quite a bit at KCRAR. Do you have any plans for how to address future growth, increased strain and wear and tear on your roads? Coming from a county background myself, I know road maintenance has doubled or tripled in some
So
cases.
expensive.
Oh, it is so expensive,
Mhm.
especially in the past decade. Does the city council or do you personally have any plans to address those increased demands?
We do. Of course, it's something we're always looking at. Keeping our infrastructure working is top priority. Luckily, in Raymore, a lot of what we have is newer. We're kind of an old city, but we've had a big growth more recently. So, unlike Belton, who has crumbling infrastructure and they've had big bond issues to fix water lines and things like that that are so old, we haven't gotten there yet. But for sure, for the 3 previous years, we've had a use tax on the ballot trying to get funds to make sure we can upkeep 58 Highway, which is our main corridor. That wasn't successful. And so, with that, in this last year, we've put together a plan to kind of baby step our way through rehabbing 58 Highway so that it doesn't get to a point where we're like, we don't even know what to do with it anymore. Our city manager is very, very good at making plans to space things out like that. As a council, several years ago, we committed to um, certain dollar amount and then even increase that dollar amount. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, but a considerable amount of money that we have committed on a regular basis to our street preservation project, to curb repairs, all those infrastructure things that you just have to do as a city.
It's a necessary evil, and again, it's just increasing in costs, and you're trying to look at unique ways, I'm sure, to meet those revenue shortfalls if there are any. So I appreciate that answer. I do have
And
one
we're
final.
really excited about the I-49 project that we should have coming soon
Wonderful. So
to
it
help
sounds like
get
a little
people
bit of
to
a sneak
Raymore.
peek then.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Well, I do have one final question for you, and it's pretty straightforward. And we've been talking to a lot of candidates throughout the cycle, and I always like to ask folks at the end of the interview, what is your message to realtors in your area? Why should they, when they go to the ballot box on April 7th, cast their vote for you?
I would tell realtors the same as everyone else. I, of course, live in the community. I'm out and about in the community, working with the Chamber of Commerce, working with citizens. I listen to people. I'm going to be a level-headed voice. I have many years of experience in this position. I've done lots of trainings with MML, so I have knowledge and experience. I'm dedicated, and I just care. I care about our community. I care about the people there. I'm open-minded. I care about all people, not just our wealthier people. And I think it's important for Raymore to we are, but could be even more of a well-rounded, diverse community. I want to see us grow, but also not too fast.
Right. Steady growth, not rapid, overly expanding growth is what you're going for.
Absolutely. Planned growth, but not giving away the farm.
Gotcha. Planned growth, that's the better term. I don't know why I didn't think about that. But
Yes.
really appreciate you taking the time to answer our questions. Is there anything I can answer for you?
Oh, I don't think so. I just really appreciate the opportunity to share and to talk to more people, and always to partner with people. It takes a community to build a community, and so we all have to communicate and work together. And so that's what I'm here for.
Well, really appreciate your time, and it certainly takes a village to build a village. But great talking with you. And if there's ever anything we can do, please feel free to reach out as a resource.
Very good. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank